First of all, can I record you? I'm just going to ask you what made you choose UNA. And this is for, because and then if I could get your photo together, we have a newsletter / we might transition to doing a blog this year where we just do little, like, these are our new students, and it's also helpful for us to learn, like, why people are coming to us. So if you could start by saying your name. So what's your name?
Caitlin Carey.
Keelan Carey.
Caitlin Carey.
Caitlin Carey. How do you spell your last name?
C-A-R-E-Y.
C-A-R-E-Y. Okay. And what made you choose UNA?
I heard awesome things about the program from people who graduated from here, and I also was really interested that there's so many different options, things you can do here, especially with the certificates.
Yeah, good to know. And what, are you a full-time student?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you going to do one of the certificates?
I definitely want to do the trauma-informed certificate, and I'm thinking about the triad, but I haven't made a decision fully on that one yet.
Which is a really good opportunity. And before coming here, what was your work?
I worked at Sweetser as a youth and family counselor in residential.
And do you have ideas for what you want to do after, or you're kind of exploring?
I want to do some sort of counseling, for sure.
Cool. And what is your name?
Amanda Porter.
Okay. And why did you choose UNA?
Again, I heard so many great things about the program, and I'm really interested in the trauma-informed care.
And similarly, so you also work at Sweetser? Same?
I'm a residential supervisor.
Okay. And do you have ideas for what you'd like to do after?
I would like to do school-based counseling for a while, and then possibly get into working with the VA or Department of Defense.
Awesome. I just heard a news thing this morning about, like, a bunch of stuff around VA stuff, and I was thinking, like, we need more, like, social workers, like, more help in that area.
My husband's a vet.
Okay.
And then I've worked for the Department of Defense before, so it's like, but I gotta wait for, like, life to let me move out of Maine again.
Right. Where were you from before Maine?
I'm from Maine. The military had us in South Carolina, Georgia, and New York.
Okay. Yeah, so all over. But you're willing to move somewhere else again, or you want to?
Yeah, I'm thinking about getting into school-based counseling on a military school. Cool. Once my kids are no longer in school.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, can I get a picture of you guys?
Sweaty.
You look great. Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Can I steal you for a moment?
Yes.
I am doing interviews we do like a newsletter for our program, and or blog. We might be switching to a blog format, but I'm walking around and interviewing students about why specifically they chose UNE. So first, will you say your name?
Yes, my name is Nick Schellenberger.
Okay.
I chose UNE because, oh boy, now I'm on the spot. Now I can't think of anything. I learned about the staff before I applied, and I heard nothing but phenomenal things about everyone who worked here. And when I applied and I met the staff, when I applied, I was still unsure of if I wanted to do social work, if I wanted to come to UNE, if this was the right choice. And meeting all of you guys affirmed that decision. And I'm incredibly excited to work with you guys. And I am 100% sure I made the right decision.
Awesome. Can you say, like, specifically, like, why, like, what it is about the staff that's so appealing, and faculty?
Just the support. It's more than just wanting us to graduate. You want us to reach our fullest potential and get out there into the community and really make a difference. And I really feel that each and every one of you cares deeply about not only our well-being, but our time here at UNE and beyond that.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks.
We do. Can I get your picture too to go with it? Also, I think I saw you at Lincoln's the other night.
Lincoln.
Were you there? Okay, it's a comedy place. It was your look-alike.
Yeah, must have.
Okay, photo. One more, I think you blinked. Okay, thank you. Stay tuned, I'll let you know if we put it up. All right, enjoy the rest of the day. You would be like crying if you were like walking with me.
I'm like, it's verklempt, totally verklempt.
It's awesome hearing their answers for why they're coming.
You're getting all that info.
I'm asking, yeah, and I'll type it up.
Okay, great. Well, I'm going to go back to my office. I'm not
Okay. Hey, how's everything going? Actually, let me interview you.
Okay.
Because I need to, I have to walk around right now. Can I get your photo first?
Of course.
Okay. You're so cute. Okay, so interviewing Carly Willard here. So I'm interviewing people, taking photographs, and we're going to write up something either for our newsletter or our blog, whatever we decide to do.
The stuff that won me over that you've created. Yes.
And that's actually my question is, why did you choose UNE?
So the whole entire reason why I wanted to come pursue my master's social work at UNE and then ended up choosing this is because of the way that it was marketed. It spoke to my heart. Once I clicked on the website and I saw these authentic smiles just holding up these wonderful signs, I knew that this was where I needed to be because it spoke to me. And I saw myself in it, and that was super important.
Awesome. And then you also came all the way from North Carolina and visited. And can you talk a little bit also about maybe that as well to kind of affirm?
Yeah. So being from North Carolina, there's a lot of universities there, a lot of great places to get an education, but nothing compared. When I came to the open house and had everything proved to me that I was already thinking in my head from the lovely familiar faces. Everyone is so welcoming, and even within 5 minutes of stepping foot on the campus after people greeted me so kindly, that was another affirmation that I had chosen the right place to come learn.
Yay! And now you're here.
Yes.
And classes begin.
Yeah, and I'm so eager. I'm so grateful. So many emotions.
Yay! That's awesome. I have to keep walking around, but let's catch up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah. Good luck. Can I steal you for a moment? So I'm Meg Webster, Emily Strout. I've seen your name come through. So I'm interviewing students about why specifically they chose UNE, and we're probably going to write something up for a newsletter or a blog. Yeah. We might start keeping. And then, do you mind if I snap a photo with your name? Okay. Sure. So Emily Strout. Okay. So maybe like where you're from, how you first learned about UNE, and then why you finally made the decision here.
Sure. I'm from Portland, so I've always known about UNE. I had a lot of friends that I went to school with have come here, but when I went to apply to grad school, I was looking elsewhere.
Where did you go to undergrad?
In Philadelphia.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And then I moved back to Portland, and then was planning on, again, leaving to go find somewhere new to try it out. But when I was actually looking into the programs and found the trauma-informed care certificate, I wasn't seeing things like that in any of the other programs that I was looking at. And that, alongside with the testimonies from a lot of the friends that I have that have come here, changed my mind significantly to saying, like, stay here, do it here, and then use what you learn here and go elsewhere with it.
Right.
But stay here for the school part because it's worth it.
Awesome.
So the trauma-informed care certificate was a big part of it, for sure.
And then, so you said you had friends who came here, so alumni.
Yeah.
Can you say like where some of these people were? You don't have to say their names or anything,
Well,
but just
most of them are physical therapists people, so I don't know.
So came to, but UNE
But
as an
UNE as a whole,
institution.
yeah, and I have one friend who went and worked for Sweetser after
Okay.
she graduated.
Gotcha.
But that's the only one I remember by name.
Yeah.
But
And then I have another question because I know that like the tuition deters a lot of people. So I'm curious how I want to know how people do that or how they still come.
yeah, well, we'll find out. I don't know.
Loans.
Yeah, I'm doing the accelerated so that hopefully I can get out into the workplace as soon as possible. It's
Yeah.
kind of my way of looking at it.
Okay.
So it's going to be a rough 16 months, but I'm hoping that after that,
Yeah.
I can catch up with that quickly.
Right. Do you work?
I'm working part-time,
Okay.
but very part-time.
Okay.
Because I'll be in my internship 3 days a week and classes 2 days a week.
Right.
So I have a weekend job.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. But I was debating between the accelerated and the 3-year, like part-time and
Right.
working. But I'm just ready to have my degree and do the job that I really want instead of
Yeah.
part-time doing jobs that I'm not as passionate about. So it's
Totally.
more worth it.
Yeah. I think so. I think it's always like an investment and then you'll be more secure. Yeah. Well, thank you.
Yeah, of course. Thank
I'll
you.
see you around. Can I steal you for a moment?
Yeah.
So I'm walking around and interviewing students.
Okay.
About, so we have like a newsletter and or a blog.
Okay.
And asking people why it was that they chose UNE.
Why I chose you and
Yeah. And will you remind me your name?
Yes, Danielle Nelson.
Danielle. And you went to an open house, right?
No, I met with you privately.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I
From
like.
Sweetser.
Oh,
Yeah,
perfect. Can I get your picture too?
No.
No.
I just feel gross.
Okay, that's okay. No worries. That's fine. But I'll remember. Danielle. How do you spell it? Nelson. No photo. That's a reminder for myself. Okay. So why you?
So I was in an online MSW program last year, and I just felt like I needed more support around just the whole program and specifically internships, and so was looking at local programs to see, because I figured they would have more relationships with different agencies, and so UNE was one of those. And then I started working at Sweetser, and there was this great opportunity to get a scholarship from Sweetser, and so I'm here.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And then, how did you find out about UNE, just in general?
I've been in the field of social work for like 13 years in the area, so I know multiple people who have gone through the program, including my sister. So I've known about UNE for a long time.
Do you have a daughter?
I have a son. I have
A son.
2 sons and a daughter. She has a daughter.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get like the
I know.
conversations mixed up. I'm like, because there was someone I remember who had a daughter who was like right about to, it was like their last year in high school or something, and I couldn't remember if that was you or not.
Yeah, no, not me. Not
cool.
me.
Well, I'm glad you made the decision to choose us. Are you enjoying the orientation?
What do you mean?
I'm sure it's kind of exhausting.
Yeah. It's been good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Well, thank you. Yeah. Good luck. You too. Can I steal you guys for a minute to ask you a question?
Yeah.
So I'm walking around and getting feedback from students about why specifically they chose us. And then we're gonna do like a little like feature of photos of students and then some things that they said. Can I get your photos? Okay. Don't worry. It'll be like our like UNE social work newsletter. Okay, so.
Real close. Right there.
All right. So your name?
Abigail Brown.
Abigail Brown. So why is it? So first of all, maybe like, how did you hear about UNE? And then why did you choose our program specifically over others?
Sure. I heard about UNE through my BSW at UMaine Orono, and I chose to come here because I live like 20 minutes away.
Okay.
So it was the closest. I didn't want to have to travel very far.
Okay, great. And then while I'm still asking you, because I know our tuition is very expensive, and so that's another thing that I'm always interested to hear, because USM is right here too. So like, why us over them given the cost?
I had heard that UNE was better, I guess.
Yeah.
To put it.
Who do you hear this from? Like alumni?
I heard it from my professors at UMaine. They didn't push one over the other, but they spoke very highly of this program.
Yeah.
So
Awesome. That's good to know. Yeah, it's nice to hear like what people are attracted to. Are you interested in any of the? Are you doing clinical, community?
I'm integrated.
Integrated.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And are you doing any of the certificates?
I am thinking about the trauma certificate. I'm still trying to gather. There's so much.
Yeah, totally. And there's time too to figure it out. So cool. Well, thank you. Yeah. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Yeah. Can I steal you for a moment?
Yeah.
So I'm walking around and I'm asking students for our newsletter.
Oh, cool.
Can I first get a photo of you and then some comments from you?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. Casey Rogers.
Yes.
I remember.
Yeah, I came and met with you.
Yeah, okay.
When I was still up in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're asking people specifically what it was. First of all, like, how did you learn about UNE? And then what it is that made you choose us over other programs.
Yeah, well, how I learned about UNE was I just was doing research on different schools and stuff, and I feel so silly saying this, but I found about UNE through a Facebook ad. I mean, that's great for you all because you advertise. Yeah. I just wish I had a cooler story that I found it.
And you didn't know about our program before that?
I knew of UNE because I had applied for undergrad, but I didn't know that you had a Master in Social Work program until I saw the Facebook ad.
Where did you go to undergrad?
I went to UMaine in Orono for undergrad. Yeah.
Okay, and you came right from that, right?
Yes, I graduated in May.
BSW?
Yeah, BSW.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I found through a Facebook ad, and then I applied to here and a few other places. But UNE definitely stuck out in that they had the different tracks you could focus in on, and then the certificates.
Like clinical.
Yeah,
community.
clinical. And then triad and trauma. A lot of other schools had either tracks that I didn't necessarily fit into, or were just generalist practice, which I kind of wanted to move away from, or focus more in on. Nothing wrong with generalist practice. And then also the interprofessional program, I'm like very, very interested in, and that was a big pull for me because I think it's really, really important in healthcare, like Shelley was saying earlier, to like reach across the aisle, so to speak, and work more together. So that was a huge pull for me.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you did your research,
Yes,
and I think you're right about all of your decisions.
Yeah, thank
of course.
you.
I'm actually taking HBSC this year, so
Oh, cool.
I might see you in the program. Yeah.
That's
There was
awesome.
something else I was going to ask. I feel like, but. Oh, are you doing which track are you doing?
Oh yeah, I'm doing that clinical track.
Okay.
And then trauma and aging for the certificates.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
Well, thank you.
you.
Yeah. And I said your name on here, Casey Rogers. Okay. Are you ready? All right. Let me get your
So
photo.
distracted.
Nice. Okay, Jen Paulus, right? Okay, so Jen Paulus. So how did you first learn about UNE, and what made you decide us over other programs? Because you're a traveler too.
Yeah, I looked at UNE because I decided to move to Maine after visiting Portland in the summer and the winter. So I was like, this is my home. I love it here. And from there, I looked at programs at universities, and I actually came to visit UNE and USM and looked around for other psychology majors, not even just social work. But the reason why I chose to come to UNE is twofold. One, I was able to apply and get into a program earlier, which was really important for me to start my life and get everything on track. I needed this to sort of set into motion other pieces of my life. And then the second thing was that I actually went to other programs, and I've been to other programs in California as well, where I've gone into the social work building and not been really greeted or been sort of passed off really quickly to other people, even here in Maine at other programs. I went into the building at USM, and this isn't their fault, but the first floor and first 3 floors of the building are all nursing. And so I went in and I was confused. I saw people in nursing uniforms, and I said, where's social work? And they said, the what? And they didn't even know where it was. It was right below them in the basement, and I thought that was a bad sign, that they didn't really promote themselves throughout their entire school. It was just sort of a subcategory of their school. So after I came here during the snowstorm, I met you, and you introduced me to the professors, which they were all incredibly friendly and really welcoming, and they were like, we are so excited. I want to tell you about this research I'm doing. I want to tell you about the programs that I'm interested in. And I have never been I was talked to as an equal, not as like a potential student and troublemaker, I guess. But that was really, really influencing for me. Yeah, it was wonderful. And at that point, I was like, this seems like the school for me. I can actually talk to people. Whereas I felt uncomfortable approaching people in positions of authority at other programs.
Right.
Yeah, it was huge. And that and the interprofessional relationships. You really were thinking about what it actually means to be outside of the school, not just we are teaching something in the school. So you had an eye always to the actual community, and you can tell that immediately. So that was, because I heard you say tuition is more expensive, but I think that it's more enriching and more of a life experience to be here.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks for that feedback. We're happy you're here. Enjoy. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah,
I'm gonna steal someone else. Can I steal an interview with you?
Yeah, not a problem.
Can I get a photo of you too?
Sure.
This will be for our newsletter or blog. Don't worry, it doesn't go too far. But you're adorable anyway, so. Okay, so what's your name?
Alyssa.
Alyssa. What's your last name?
Sullivan.
Sullivan. Okay, so I'm going around. I work here in the staff and do recruitment work. So I'm interested in hearing why everybody chose UNE over other programs. So first of all, how did you first learn about UNE, and then why you chose to come here ultimately?
Well, I first heard of UNE because I actually grew up about an hour south from here.
Okay.
So just New England schools. I knew of New England along the coast. I'm literally just an hour south. The reason I chose UNE over other programs is my biggest draw was the internships they offered and how they really not threw you into it, but allowed you to get into it from the beginning. It wasn't like a year, because some of the ones I looked at was like a year where you don't really do much internship or is very limited to on campus or kind of school affiliated, whereas here it seems more like a real world internship and actually getting the experience.
Right. Did you come to any open houses, or did you just do research and apply?
I just did research and apply.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. Was it also a pull? Our field planning process is quite different from others. Where we sit down with you individually and really hear what you want. Did you know about that, or?
Well, I was actually in New York when it happened, so I had a phone call, but I was super appreciative because they did seem to really assess. It wasn't just where are we going to put people, or that kind of, or even geography. They didn't just do it that way, to some degree, because obviously a commute, but they kind of heard my interest in the experience that I have had post undergrad and stuff, and then found something that worked more in my interest, and then they asked about my long-term goals. So I appreciated that it was something that would fit my long-term goals in a new experience, but something that I could handle. So I did appreciate that it was more person-centered.
Yeah. Are you doing, which track are you doing, clinical?
I want to do clinical, yes.
Okay. Are you doing any of the certificates?
I'm considering doing the trauma certificate.
Okay. Awesome. Cool. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Can I steal you for a moment to get an interview with you?
Oh, sorry.
So
Yes.
this will be for our blog or newsletter,
Okay, sure.
and as you know, I do recruitment side of
You
things.
do everything.
So we all wear many
I
hats.
know you do.
And can I get a photo of
Yes.
you too? Okay. So awesome, thank you. So remind me your name.
Kim.
Kim, and last name again? Davis. So I'm curious to learn, first of all, how you first heard about UNE, and then why you chose UNE ultimately, especially over other opportunities.
Right. So I heard about the school from a therapist, and who said it was a fantastic program. So I really
Are they an alumni of our program?
no.
Oh,
This is a psychologist who was at Tufts.
Oh,
So,
wow.
and she had told me about it because just being in the community had heard that the social workers from UNE, that's a very different program, that sure I could go to USM, but that it was just going to be so very different, and that this was a much sort of
more rigorous.
yes, and I wanted something academically rigorous because my undergrad was academically rigorous. I've done one master's degree. I knew that I would be bored and if I'm not challenged, that would not work well for me.
Right. What is your undergrad?
In English.
Okay, and your master's
is in theology.
I remember because
Yeah.
at the time I was applying to a program. I'll have to talk to
I
you about
wonder,
that.
because you're still
yeah,
here,
I'm
so-
actually taking HBSC this year.
Oh!
Yes, just one class right now, but I ended up, I was en route that way, and then I was like, I think I'm going to do this first,
Yes.
and then maybe
Right, because I think that, well, I have a lot of thoughts about
we should talk
the church.
sometime.
And,
I would love to chat with you.
Love to do some research around certain things going on in the church and how it's not, I think that pastors should not be doing the counseling that they're doing, and that they really, I feel like they should be hiring social workers to run their family ministries because they do not know what they're doing. They miss a lot of things. Sure, you see, I don't know if you see, but there's just so much going on in the evangelical church right now as far as the leaders, with sexual harassment and sexual abuse and things being covered up and not handled properly, and the sort of structures of the sort of narcissist church, and so
I
there's a lot.
really would love to sit down and talk with
Yes,
you. 'Cause,
great. Well,
I have and I won't put any of this on, but I was raised in a very Christian family.
Yes.
And so it's such a big part of my roots and stuff.
Yeah.
But I've come to very different kind of ideas myself. But also love a lot of the values, and it also created this seed of just when you leave a path, you're just you just want to know everything about and believe for such an important thing. When I was applying for programs in philosophy and religion, it was a secular program, so it wasn't theology, but it was. I wanted to believe that the power of and opposing ideas and conversion, what makes people actually open their minds to other things.
Right.
Very interesting.
Love to have coffee or
Totally.
anytime.
Yeah,
that would be great.
Students together.
Which HBSC are you taking?
Lori on Tuesday.
I think Lori's on Wednesday, the hybrid.
Oh, you are?
Unfortunately,
Okay.
because I couldn't get it all to work the way
But you know where I am.
I am. So
we'll be on campus.
And I'm starting part-time, so I have get all of this. So that's really great. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I
So
didn't mean to interrupt. So UNE, in particular.
So the third program I heard about that would work for me because I still have a daughter at home, and so I wanted to stay in the area. That I know that Smith has a program where you basically go in the summers and then you do your field placements when you're back home wherever you are.
Yeah.
So that maybe would have been an option, but why would I do that when UNE has such an interesting program? I'm particularly interested in trauma. That's really I say now before I've ever started, that I would like that to be my focus because of things that I've gone through in my life, things that I've encountered, and not being able to help certain people through situations that, where they really had some pretty complex trauma.
Yeah.
And I feel like that were properly addressed, that would really take care of so much. Sort of like a more whole. I think it's like functional medicine for therapy. You like get to the root cause. I just think, So I think that's kind of where my head is right now in that. But I'm also super interested in research.
Yeah,
for sure.
awesome.
Yes, around the issues.
We need more people.
Bringing together my theology degree and then eventually this, and being able to maybe move forward and do some research that is around the issues that we were just.
That's awesome. Have you met with Tom McLaughlin yet? But you saw him yesterday.
Yes, and he's
like the research guru, and he, I think, really appreciates because there's not everybody in the
I know. I keep hearing this like groaning around.
I'm like such a geek about. I'm like it's
so
like
excited.
the secret world of like scraping the walls of like what people don't look at that informs so much. So that's
maybe
exciting.
it's because I read all those Brene Brown books and she's a researcher, so
what does she write? I don't know. No.
She researched. She started. She's super famous. Like she's like on Oprah.
Okay.
So
Brene Brown. Have you done her shame training?
No, I haven't done the training.
So
but
is it like in the field of social?
Oh yeah, she's a social.
Okay.
She has a shame training that we got to do when I was working at the prison. That is phenomenal. It's an online training.
I do think I'm aware. Actually, I know someone who is a therapist and said they just came back from a training around shame. And I think it's just kind of like
in shame because she started out in this is when her like doctoral research was in researching shame.
Interesting.
So I think that's maybe why I think but also I really like I was an English major. I don't know anything, but I have researched a lot of things in my a daughter who was very sick for a very long time. End of the day, bad day, I just go back at it and research. Okay, what are we going to do? What is this? What are the best treatments? What are the best modalities? Okay, I'm going to go learn that, and just like kept chipping away. Then it was great, and I find so much hope in that, and realizing this is really cool. This is really possible, and I kind of feel like there's this weird other side of me that's not at all the English major side that wants to maybe look at.
And I think those worlds blend so well. Like I think social work is such a great. That's why I'm ultimately looking at it too, because it's like you need people who love the humanities and the arts, and then you need to have a critical eye on the science and the brain and psychology.
Yes, that's what
but bring those worlds together because you can be so smart about like what's going on in neuroscience and psychology, but if you can't bring it to people in a way that they can
understand it, which is what Brene Brown is so great at. I listened to her books when I would do long drives. I would listen the ones that she has read, not the ones that there's somebody else reading. Terrible, but when she reads it, she's hilarious, and she's so funny because she can just drop a curse word perfectly, and she talks a lot about her adventures in faith and what she and her husband how they decided to approach that with their children and going back to the Episcopal Church in Texas and kind of that whole process. And she talks about that a lot.
I would love to hear about that.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I will look her up.
Did I answer the question?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and I'm probably what I'm gonna do is take when I get time is take photos and then do like quotes from students that kind of gives us an idea like why people choose us. And we used to have a newsletter that went out once every few months, but I think we're switching to a blog format, but we've yet to like launch it. So it all depends on that. And that's TR and I who do that.
Yeah.
And so just whenever we get to it. But I'll let you guys know. Yeah,
well, I'm happy that you're doing that.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Do I just write their names or do they sign these?
Oh yeah, so that's I think they have to sign it.
Okay.
So I would just maybe hold on to it. Do you have a class with any of them?
No, Frank's sitting over there.
Oh yeah. And this is the trauma.
Yeah.
But Arabella's not here right now. So I would say give it to me, and I can put it in her box. And just say that you dropped it off.
Right.
But you'll probably want to wait until I'm leaving. Otherwise, I'll completely forget.
Right.
So maybe find me before you leave. Otherwise, there will be plenty of opportunity to come up to the floor.
Who is the one that's doing the county jail stuff?
Lori.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Amazing.
Well, I
Yeah.
worked for the prison, so I'd want to like
Okay.
extend it into that. But
I think that sounds super cool. Yeah. Can I bother you guys for a minute and interview you guys for a second? So for our newsletter, we usually like put out we're actually switching from a newsletter platform to maybe a blog. And so I'm going around and interviewing people and getting a photo if I can, and hearing why it is, first of all, how you first heard of UNE, and then what is it about our program that made you choose us? So can I do one at a time, and then can I get a photo too? Is that okay? Okay. Thank you. Okay, so your name?
Erin McCormick.
Okay. And so how did you choose UNE, and or how did you first hear about us, and then what made you choose us?
I first heard about you because I live right down the street.
Okay.
So I was familiar with the school being here, but I did not know that you had a master's in social work program. I found that by doing some online research and comparing a few different programs. And I chose UNE not only because it was close in proximity to where I live, but I also had sort of the most positive interaction in terms of when I had looked into it and I got quick feedback from someone and a quick response, and they were more than willing to spend lots of time talking with me about the program and answered any questions I had.
Awesome. So when you did the searching, you were just looking at programs in Maine or programs in New England?
No, I started out looking, I did my first year here online, so I was looking for online social work programs, and that's how I found UNE. And then once I did a year of the program online, I decided to transfer to on-campus.
Okay. And can you talk to
recommendation from a professor that I had online.
Oh yeah, Judy, right? Okay. Yeah, we'll keep that over. Yeah, because I remember I know I've met everybody and everyone's so famous, and then I'm like, were you the one that did? Are you doing any of the certificates?
I think I'm going to do the trauma-informed care as well as try to do the triad program next year.
And are you clinical or community, or do you know yet?
I'm going to do clinical.
Okay. Nice. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And can I get your photo too?
I'm not photogenic. And
It's okay.
I don't like getting anything.
It'll be just that. Here's this person, and then so Richard Lafreniere.
Rick Lafreniere.
Rick Lafreniere. So can you tell me about how you first learned about the program and why you chose us?
Sure. I was working at DHHS for Child Protective Services, and UNE, the social work program, has an agreement with the department where folks get a discount as long as they're working for the department. That wasn't an option for me because I have a baby and it's too much to work and go to school, and so I decided to come here based on the reputation, based on having spoken to a lot of my colleagues about the education they're getting here and the good things they had to say about that. I live less than a mile away. I had the opportunity to work with one of the professors here professionally, and I really appreciated that interaction. And I am an acquaintance of another professor who was my brother's next-door neighbor. And so I just have some random connections that have all been really good. So I decided to apply.
Awesome. And so you said you have colleagues, so people who are at DHHS now taking our classes.
Yes.
And then when you say reputation, can you speak a little bit more about that? What is our reputation?
The reputation for the MSW program here at UNE is glowing regionally. Everybody that I've talked to about it, after having been accepted, they're very excited for me. It's just a high standard.
Awesome. And do you know what you are doing, which track, and what you want to do after?
Yes, so the track I'm on is the accelerated program, doing the integrated practice. And after, I'm not quite sure what I want to do, but I'm excited about my internship at Martins Point, where I'm going to be doing some program development to support new dads, and ultimately by supporting them and building skills with them, supporting families and moms and kids.
Awesome. Cool. Well, thank you guys so much, and we'll look forward to having you in the program. Yeah. Can I interrupt you guys for a moment? So I'm Meg. Hey, welcome to our program. I'm going around and asking students a little bit about how they learned about us and why they came to UNE. This is really for our own information, because I do stuff around recruitment, and it's really helpful to hear like why do people come to us. But also, I also do stuff with, we have like a newsletter, which we might turn into a blog actually. So we also like to post like, these are our new students and this is what they have to say. So do you mind if I like snap a photo and then put here back from you guys, like how you chose us? Okay, awesome. So I'll do one at a time. Or can I can use them
Together?
Yeah.
Can I make a funny face?
Please.
Okay. So first, I'm like the 1, 2, 3 do a weird thing. Those are my favorite photos. So first, your name?
Christopher O'Neill.
Christopher O'Neill. I've seen like and did you come to one of our open houses?
Don't
maybe
remember.
Not. Okay, probably not. Okay, so how did you first learn about UNE and why did you choose us?
It was 2 different ways. One is like a cursory internet search for schools in Maine, because UNE happens to be. They have the Yellow Ribbon program, which like tops off my GI Bill. So as a veteran, it's a good deal for me. And then a social worker that I worked with at school. The school that I was working at last year, Sue Rodernight. She's an alum.
Okay, what's her name?
Sue Rodernight.
Okay, what school is she at?
She went to social work school here. Oh, where does she work?
Yeah.
She works at the junior high in Stanford.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, and you were at that school doing work?
Yeah, I was working in the special ed department. I love her. She has an answer to everything.
Oh,
she's
yeah.
great. So,
awesome.
Yeah. Those are
cool. And so when you were searching programs, you just were looking at like MSW programs in Maine, or?
I did that one. There's also a way to search through like the GI Bill website, like schools that have the Yellow Ribbon program, and what schools are like GI Bill friendly and stuff like that.
Awesome. And the whole university is, or did our program?
The whole university is. I think so.
That's awesome. Okay. And are you doing clinical track?
Integrated. I believe.
Integrated.
That's what I'm going.
Are you interested in any of the certificates?
Yes, both the trauma and the triad.
Okay, cool. And your name?
Michelle Beers.
Michelle Beers. Okay, so I know how you live.
Yeah.
But you can say it for them.
It's not very helpful.
Okay. I was all about it.
Had a few glasses of wine. Ran into Bob Chance.
Was that the first time you'd heard about UNE's program?
Yeah, so I had been looking for MSW programs, and I just ran into Bob Chance, and he happened to be, working here. But I was really actually compelled after I looked into it myself by the Triad program and the emphasis on interprofessional education. I think that's really competitive and cutting edge in comparison to a lot of master's programs, specifically MSW programs. So I applied for those 2 reasons.
Yeah.
And that's what kind of drew me in.
Were you living in Maine, or you have family in Maine?
So my husband's family is from Portland.
Okay.
I was living in Baltimore and working in DC.
Okay, so you moved back here.
Yes.
For the program.
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Well, welcome.
Thanks.
And are you doing any of the certificates, or?
Yeah, I'm doing the Triad certificate program. I've been calling it program. I don't know how you guys are referring to it.
It's a certificate, but it's like, I think even within our department, people are like certificate program thing, because basically, it's a certificate program.
Yeah. And then I'm also interested in the trauma-informed practice certificate. And I think I'm in Arabella's course. I am in Arabella's course this semester. So Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Well, thank you guys. I'm gonna meander about. Hello. Can I interrupt you guys? So I'm Meg, and I work with the School of Social Work, and we sometimes do like a newsletter, blog, and I'm going around and asking students why, first of all, like how they first learned about us and why you chose us specifically. And then can I get a photo of you guys?
Yeah.
I don't have to if you don't want to.
I hate getting my picture.
You do? Okay. I don't need to.
Okay,
It's up to
then
you.
we don't need to.
Okay. So I'll get, what's your name?
I'm Liz.
Liz, okay. Okay. Yeah, sure. So Liz, what's your last name? Corrales. Okay, so how did you first learn about UNE and why did you choose our program?
I first learned about UNE because I moved to Maine to start AmeriCorps, and I worked in a school called System Real School. So I worked alongside with 2 UNE grad students who were doing their internships at Real School with the clinicians.
Oh, okay. What are their names?
Their names were Julia and Danae.
Okay. Was this a while ago?
No, this was like a year ago.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
And so obviously they must have said good things.
Yeah, they loved it. They were always really like happy with each other. They just seemed like they got along and they liked their program. And they had all good things to say about the faculty.
Awesome. And did you come to any info sessions or visit campus or anything like that?
I did not. I didn't.
I guess I have to be back. Okay.
So, as far as my little table went, there'll be more information about opportunities for working in Cumberland County Jail.